Hello everyone and welcome back to the KingsCourt, or as I'm going to call it now, the Bethesda Brothers podcast. That's right, I got the name Joey Caps. We have the legend Joey Caps as my co-host as always, and yes, I stole the name. I didn't steal the name because he didn't want it. That is the name.
Yeah.
That is.
You came up with the name.
I did come up
with the name.
You came up with the
name.
You were like, Joe.
Yeah, you were like, Joe, pick this. I was like, you know what? I like Galaxy News Podcast, King. So I held a poll, and X amount of people voted, and Galaxy News Podcast won.
X amount of people. He voted, and he didn't like my name. So Bethesda Brothers Podcast is right here. Today we're going to talk about a super cool subject. We are going to talk about a Fallout 3 subject, a Fallout 76 subject, and a real-life subject. We're going to talk about the Zetans of Fallout 3. We're going to talk about the Flatwoods Monster of Fallout 76. And, of course, the Flatwoods Monster of real life in West Virginia. Are you ready, Joey?
Yes! Let's get it rocking!
Well, I don't even know where to start, but as you know, in Fallout 3, of course, we have the mothership Zeta. And how is that related to Fallout 76? Well, it's really neat that the Vault Tech guy that was inspecting Vault 76 actually was abducted by Mothership Zeta. Did you know that?
What?
Yeah.
No, I had no. Where did you get this information from?
Yes, he was actually abducted by Mothership Zeta, which is actually.
So he was working on 76?
He was inspecting Vault 76.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
That's insane. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I love how Bethesda tends to do this. Just they do these mind-blowing things within their games.
Now that's in Fallout 3. That's actually Fallout 3.
That's cool.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
They just do these mind-blowing things in the game. So that inspector, is he from 2102? Like, is he from that time, the 76 time period?
No, he was at the building of Vault 76, and he's looking at the dedication of the vault, so he's inspecting it. Yeah.
Wow, it's insane how Bethesda does that sort of thing with all of their games. Really, how they could, like the Fallout games, they tie in together, and it's awesome.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's insane.
And of course, we've already seen in Fallout 76 that the Flatwoods monster of the game has a little Zetan inside of that little suit. I did a video way back before that it had been seen that inside the little suit was a Zetan. That by the magazine and by the stories and all that it was pretty much conclusive that the Zetans were the identity of the Flatwood monster. And there was a lot of evidence because of the holotape, and there's many things that you can see. I want to talk just a little bit about Mothership Zeta. That was a super cool DLC from Fallout 3, first of all.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. It was, honestly, it wasn't my favorite. It was cool, but it wasn't my favorite. I love the pit. That was an awesome DLC. But we're talking about Mothership Zeta. It was a little creepy too, you know?
It was so different.
It was very different. And was it fun? Yeah, I enjoyed the heck out of it. And was it my favorite though? I don't know. But I love it how Bethesda, like I said earlier, how it ties in, you know, like it tied in 3 and 76. Granted, DC is close to West Virginia, but it tied in, you know, and that's awesome. I love when they do mind-blowing things like that. And obviously in Fallout 3, you could go to a terminal and look up Vault 76 and read a little bit about it. That's cool. And, you know, and now there's a full-fledged game.
And did you know at the very start of Fallout 4, the TV announcer says something about Vault 76?
What does he say? Yeah, I did. I don't remember what he said though. What did he say?
He's talking about the grand opening of Vault 76.
Wow, it's like, Bethesda always entertains, their newest upcoming title after their current project. If I made 0 cents, I'm sorry. But like in Fallout 3, you had, the Android quest line, the replicated man quest line, and that obviously, hyped up Fallout 4. And then in Fallout 4, they talked about in the very beginning of the game, they talked about 76, like you just said. That's like, and we didn't know that this game was going to be a thing. We had no idea back then, but possibly they did. So it's just, what in 70, I know we're going off topic right now. Do you think anything in 76 is hinting at a future release for Bethesda Game Studios?
Oh, that's a good question.
I wonder.
Is there a Starfield reference, or is there a Fallout 5? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, exactly. Because I know in Fallout 4 with Kellogg and stuff, there was the San Francisco, the bridge, right, and the Golden Gate Bridge, right?
Right.
That's what it's called. And it was.
But like in 3, you had the synth.
Harkness.
Yeah.
Or Pinkerton.
Yeah. And of course, McCready was in it and all that.
Yeah,
that's a very good question. I'm sure there's already references in Fallout 76. Now, what they are, wow.
We won't know them until the game comes out, until Fallout 5 comes out.
There is a neat one where there's 2 Mr. Handy robots. There's a male and a female that are talking to each other. That they talk about all kinds of stuff, and it seems like random stuff that they're talking about. But they
mentioned Starfield, right?
Well, they mentioned the stars. But I wonder some of the things they talk about, if maybe they're not hinting at some things.
That's true.
Yeah.
Maybe they are hinting at Starfield, but they could be hinting at
other things.
Maybe even Elder Scrolls stuff they could be hinting at. We don't know.
Yeah, because they talk about all kinds of stuff. Just crazy stuff.
I should go back to that.
Yeah,
and I should see what the heck they're saying. Yeah.
I do want to talk a little bit about the real Flatwoods Monster for a minute, because, and I really want for us to think, because I know most of us are rational people, and I don't know what you think about aliens and UFOs, but let's go back to 1952 in West Virginia. I don't know what these people saw, but I'm sure it was not a Zetan, okay? So, what do you think they saw there in the woods?
I have no earthly idea. I don't know.
They call this thing a 10-foot tall, huge green thing that expelled gas. Now,
so it was in the 50s, right? Like
1952.
Were they on drugs?
No,
were they?
This was a older woman with young boys. So
okay.
And the interesting thing about this, this is well documented. A dog died that went with them, and every one of them that went actually got physically ill. And there was a doctor that documented that they all got physically ill for going out there, and 2 police officers that went out to the scene actually got physically ill that went and looked at the scene. So, this is all documented. There was something that they saw, that they came in contact with, that actually made them physically ill, that actually killed a dog. So, it wasn't something they were making up. But what was it?
I don't. Maybe it was rotten food. I'm kidding. No, I don't know. It's hard for me to believe in that sort of thing.
Me too.
It as we know why it's hard to believe in. Yeah. It's hard. I don't know. I can't. It's very interesting.
I'm actually
a 10 feet tall green thing.
I'm actually going to blow your mind, Joe.
Do it, please.
No, I'm even going to make it even just go.
Jeez, okay.
There is more to this story than just one 10-foot tall green guy.
Oh, yeah.
The U.S. Air Force and Army came to this spot and actually quarantined the spot for over a week. So, I mean, this was a huge deal, and the U.S. Military and the president actually took this serious. But this is the reason why, okay? And this is what most people don't realize. In 1952, the day that this happened in West Virginia, you can go to the newspapers in Washington, D.C. at the same time, 15 minutes before all of this happened in West Virginia. And you know how close West Virginia is to Washington, D.C., right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. In Washington, D.C., over the state capitol, there were 3 disc-shaped objects that went over the state capitol and were shot at by U.S. planes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
One of them was reported to be hit and going down toward West Virginia, crashing. Two of the others went in other directions, being pursued by United States jets. The one that was crashing, they said, believed to go down in rural West Virginia. Well, I would say that where did the Flatwoods Monster? Where was it located? What town is that?
West Virginia.
Yeah, and where in West Virginia? What town is that? That's pretty rural, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now this is where it's really going to blow your mind. These 3 disc shapes. You're going, now come on, really? Did aliens fly over the United States Capitol?
Yeah.
And I know y'all are really going to go, King, you have lost it. You have absolutely lost it.
That happened a while ago, King, but so did I. Go on.
You can actually go back and read in the newspapers. This is all in the newspapers, okay?
Yeah.
Now, yes, there were a lot of the National Enquirers and all that said it was alien technology, okay? And it was all of this stuff. But there were also those that believed that there were still holdouts from World War II, and it was German technology, and it was Germans that flew over. So it was like a terrorist attack on the United States Capitol.
That, to be honest, that makes a lot of sense.
Yes. And
like that ties into why that's not so much, I feel, mind-blowing as it is that makes sense.
Yes, because if you go back, they were trying to do these disc-shaped hovering things, and of course a lot of people think that we have this kind of technology we've never told people about, and all these UFO sightings are our technology that we don't tell people about. You know, it's it's those black projects we don't tell people about. And you can believe what you want. You can either believe it's from another planet or it's our military. But this is all documented. Y'all can go look it up. Okay, it's actually in the newspapers. But they shot this thing down, and whatever it was that sprayed this gas, which, by the way, the Germans did use back then, all that gas stuff, it killed the dog and made those people sick. So that's the story. Isn't that wild?
Yeah, that it makes sense though.
And they called almost a whole platoon of the army to go in there. Well, why did they do that?
So the question that I have, what the heck is the green object that this woman saw?
They believe it was a soldier in a suit of armor.
10 feet tall though?
Well, think about it. If it's in a total suit of armor, and of course, these are kids and a lady giving this illustration out in the woods, shining a flashlight on it. So,
you don't think that maybe let's say the gas, right? You don't think maybe they were under the influence of something due to the gas itself?
It could be, but I think it also scared them to death, and it was like,
for sure,
this thing was huge, you know.
Yeah, makes a ton of sense. It debunks, the alien thing.
Yeah.
But hey, if people want to believe in that, I mean, I don't know. I don't believe in it personally, but very interesting though.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah,
But with
very interesting.
but with all of that said, I think it is so cool how Bethesda took not just this story, but all of West Virginia's folklore and put it into Fallout 76. I love that. I love these mysteries that Bethesda put in and made it. I think it made the game so special with the Grafton monster and the Mothman and I love those. I absolutely
Definitely.
love those.
It makes you think how long it took them to make this game,
Yes.
if that makes sense. Like, because people say they started working on it 2015 after Fallout 4, but how can they do that? Develop this lore within 76 in 3 years. I mean, is that possible? Like, do you
No.
think West Virginia has always been an area where they wanted to put a Fallout game?
Oh, I don't. Maybe so, because see, Virginia being so close to Washington, maybe, maybe so. Maybe being the rural part right outside of Washington D.C. Maybe it was an idea they've always had since Fallout 3.
Yeah, you know what would be awesome though?
And West Virginia is a very special state when it comes to lore. Think about it. Is there any other place that has so many? I'll call them critters. I can't. I thought Arkansas was a a woodsy state that had a lot of critters, but my word, this the sheep squatch, and we still haven't got them all. They've got the bat boy. They've got all kinds of things that they still haven't even put into the game yet.
Yeah, yeah. There's so much more that they could do with 76.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I would love to see maybe down the line, I don't think this will happen. I mean, we don't know where Wastelanders is going to take us. We have no idea as far as the main quest goes. Maybe they will add on to the game a little bit as far as locations go. And hear me out. I wonder if we could possibly step in or see what Washington, D.C.
Oh, yes.
was.
I would love to see
at that time.
I would love that. Yep.
That would be really, really cool if we could do that. Now they're working on Wastelanders. It's going to change the game, a lot. So who knows what other future plans they have for this game as far as quests go.
Yes.
But that would be really cool if we could go back into DC and see what it was before the events of Fallout 3. That'd be really cool.
It would be awesome. It would be great.
It's feasible too because it's close, It's close to
yeah, I've thought that from the beginning, and I think we will. I think that will be probably the next big thing they do will be go outside the map.
That would be awesome.
Yep, that would be great. Well, I can't believe we're running out of time already. I do want to say one thing about the Flatwood Monster. What I said, it's neat to talk about these things, and I believe people want them to stay a mystery. It's like the Mothman and all these. I think people want to be kind of creeped out about them. So they,
of course, yeah.
They kind of keep them a mystery. It's like, I really don't want to know the truth about it. Let's just keep them a mystery. So, and of course, if what I was saying is true, the U.S. government don't want us to know the truth. So, let's just keep it a mystery. Let's keep it an alien. So,
yeah, that's whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
That's fine.
Yeah, if we have that kind of technology, they don't want us to know. So,
yeah, there's probably a lot of things
that they don't want to. Yeah, they don't want us.
And
to know.
it would probably scare the heck out of us if we did know.
Yeah, that's right.
Be like, oh my gosh.
Well, speaking of that, do you remember the guy that hacked into NASA's computer? And this was back in...
How long ago?
Oh, it was like 2008 or something. And they found all of
the heck was that?
They found all the terrestrial and non-terrestrial officers, and it had the ships, what was it called, Solar Warden, It had like 9 ships that were off planet. You haven't heard about this?
No, I gotta be honest with you.
Well,
but how old was I? I think I was 16 at the time.
Well, he's still in trouble, but yeah, supposedly we have these huge ships that are bigger than football fields up there. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. But now that's just what NASA's computer says, so you can't believe that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so with all that good information, NASA will probably be, or the government will probably be coming after me now. So, thank you, Joe.
I hope not, King.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you joining me. Now you're in trouble with me. There you go.
Hey, whatever. I'll go down with you, but I hope you don't go down. So
this is the last episode of the Bethesda Brothers.
Oh no, King! Someone's at my door. No.
Oh, thank you for joining me today. Hopefully we will be back next week and we'll be talking about some other aliens or something.
Thank you, King. I really appreciate it. I always enjoy talking with you. It's a lot of fun.